girl in their ear and let the text spit. I just might catch a case on my next hit. Remove their whole face on some special effect shit. So show respect, Drake, or I'ma have a flashback. Digging through the dresser like, fuck it, where my mask at? The mash back with the banger and damage shit and say fuck everything.
Say what's cracking, YouTube? It's your boy 16 to life. And I'm back like I'm on a parole violation. Yard down. Do me a favor, man, before I get started. I need you to hit that like button. I need you to hit that subscribe and that notification bell. That way, anytime I drop a story, you can hop on it ASAP Rocky. Now today, we on another thing, man. Right here, we doing what I call my calls from behind the wall. And so what that is, we have a convict who is currently incarcerated making a call, man, and he gonna fill us in on, you know, some things that's going on behind the wall, man. So we got the homie G-Dub calling, man. G-Dub, what's up with it? You there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm right here.
All right, man.
Get this interview on.
Let's get into this story then, man. So G-Dub, man, how old was you when you first came to prison?
First came to prison, I was 20.
You was 20 years old?
20 years old.
31.
How? Been down 21 years.
How old was you when you was initially charged with the crime that you was charged with?
Well, 20.
Oh, you
I
was
got incarcerated at 20.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so, how long did you stay in the county jail?
2.5 years.
Oh, 2.5 years. So then, so that's what I'm asking you. So you was charged with it at 20 and you came to the pen at 22?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. So, how much time did you end up getting?
I ended up getting 40 with an L.
You end up getting, for those who may not know, in California we call an L a life sentence. So you end up getting 40 years to life.
Yeah. Well, I actually got 15 with the possibility of parole, and for a gun enhancement, they gave me 25 to life for using a gun in the commission of a crime. So they ran it concurrent, and I ended up with 40 to life with the possibility of parole.
Right. Okay. So, were you a gang member?
Yes.
Okay. So I assume what gang was you affiliated with?
With the Gateway Posse Crips, North Palm Springs.
Okay. So I assume with all the time you had, they sent you straight to a level 4.
Yeah. I went to reception. I went to reception through Delano. And they had put me up for Pelican Bay and High Desert, but I ended up going to Cleopatra. And that's a 270. It's a one level 4, but it was 270. And at that time, it was a rocking 270. So a lot of stabbings and stuff was going on, a lot of staff assaults, a lot of politicians, a lot of paperwork, prison gang type of activities going on them yards that I was on down there.
So did you get caught up in anything while you was down there?
Oh yeah, I got caught up in a couple of things.
What was up?
I got caught up. What I got caught for, but then got removed from the yard. We took off on the police.
Oh, okay. Well, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, yeah, we one of the homies had got drunk. It was on one of the homies' birthday up out of Compton and shit. And one of the homies had went outside at the yard, and I guess he had a knife on him or something. The police tried to search him, and he ended up knocking the police out. And at that time, all the Crips had came together in that building and was like, if any police, put their hands or anything go with the Crips involved with the police, because the police was doing dirty stuff, like spraying people up at the time for no reason, cutting their phones off, just doing all type of little punk shit. So the Crips had came together and came to agreement, like, if any one of the homies take off, we all going. Whoever on the floor, that's what it is. We gonna go. And I stood up and I, volunteered and put myself in that. So I ended up having to go. But the consequences of it, I had a little homie down there at the time. He ended up going too. And that was he was only on the yard about 2 weeks. He just came off of classification, orientation. And that was our first shoot. We ended up getting attempted murders on the police and shit. And they had us in the shoot. I mean, they took us to a whole, whooped our ass back there, snatched out my Mongolian. I had a Mongolian.
Okay.
Snatched that out. And we was back there fighting it a long time until they dropped the shoot to from attempted murder to just simply battery on the police. Then they transferred us out. That was a long time because we spent like 15 months in ad set with no TV, no nothing, with with a door that you can barely like put your fingers under. So you had to get all your food and magazines, your reading material under there. So you came up with ways to maneuver to fish stuff in. Yep.
Okay. So, like I say, we often hear when a individual is charged with a assault on staff, man, there's extreme retaliation, and you say they whoop your ass. Was it just one ass whooping, or was they continually? Because I've heard they've run up in the cell at late at night 2 or 3 times, maybe on occasions, man, and jump on the dude. So, what was your experience like?
Well, after that initially ass whooping, they just like basically put us in the cells with nothing. After that, it was like really nothing. Like, they'd play with the meal. We wouldn't get no meal and stuff like that. No canteen, things like that. But after that initially ass whooping, it wasn't really nothing. But we didn't have nothing coming. I ended up messing up my case behind it. I missed time restraint. So I got bored from my whole case. I messed up my appeal on it because I missed out. But they wouldn't allow us to go to the law library or nothing because we was back there for the staff assault.
And so, how
So
severe was your ass whooping?
oh, severe. They snatched the whole ponytail out my head. Had me, they, didn't maybe mess up my face, but, your body, the pigs have a problem with attacking your nuts. I don't know why.
Right.
They got a problem with attacking your nuts with the billy club. They want to hit you all up in your balls and shit.
Wow.
So that was the extent of it, and hitting you across your knees and in the back of your knees and stuff.
And so after that situation was finally taken care of or whatever. So what happened? They end up moving you?
Yeah, I ended up getting transferred to a 180, and that was a whole different ball game from the 270, the yard that I was on, because now it's like a more secure unit. And then they put me right up there in high desert.
Oh, okay. And I never been to High Desert, man, but I've heard that High Desert was a prison that was ran by the white inmates with a lot of help from the guards. Is any of that true in your experience?
Well, I'm a sum this up like this. One day we in the snow, and one of the white inmates, a Wood, went to the police with a knife. The police looked at him like, "What is you doing?" And when he tried to hand the police the knife, the police handed it back to him and walked away.
Wow.
So
Okay.
that should sum it up.
Yeah, that's
The
that.
police was helping them all the way. We had knives, but we didn't never have the knives they had.
Right. So that says a whole lot about that situation, man. So how long did you stay in High Desert?
I stayed in high desert 17 months before I attacked the captain.
Wait, hold on. You said what?
17 months before I attacked the captain.
Okay, you going if you don't mind, man, or if you can, you gonna have to you attack the captain. You gonna have to give us that story, man. How the hell did that shit come about?
Well, it came about up after being up in high desert. They kept us on lockdown for many months for nothing. Like the essays would drop a kite in on us talking about we're gonna take off the Crips or the blacks, gonna take off on the police. So
Right.
the institution, the administration would lock all the blacks down. And up there at the time, lockdowns lasted at the least 3 months to
Right.
4 months. But then you would come out on implements, they'll let out a certain amount of group of blacks. And then somebody will put another kite in. So it would be times where we'd be on lockdown like 6 months for just somebody dropping a kite saying that a black is going to do something to a CO,
Right.
which was found untrue. So after a year, a year, we're not going to the store because we getting put on bullshit lockdown. I was fed up. I
Right.
had told one of the homies, when these COs say anything to me, I don't give a fuck. I'm out of here. I'm gonna use that as an excuse to get up out of here.
Yeah.
And it just happened to be that I was going to committee, and a year before I had went to committee. They had dropped my custody from close A to close B. And so when I go to committee this year, the woman, she tells me, "I'm about to put you back close A, and I'm about to give you 4 more points for assault that you did in YA."
Excuse me one sec, man. I hate to interrupt, but what is? Can you explain for those who may not know what is committee?
Or a committee is like where you go to. They tell you what you need to do, how you doing, how your program and stuff. Basically,
An evaluation.
like evaluation to your program, or if they're going to transfer you somewhere, or if they're going to strip you from a privilege or something like that.
Okay, so this
committee is.
and so this is an annual. It's a once a year evaluation to see basically if you're gonna stay at that prison, if you're gonna be moved. They talk about your program and the things that you need to do, and basically let you know just what's going on with you, pretty much.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Sorry about that. So then go ahead with your story.
So at that time I was fed up. So I'm explaining the situation to the woman and the captain in there, like, I've been up here programming. And he's like, man, you ain't been programming. You just held our trays. And I tried to explain that situation to no avoid. They wasn't hearing what I was trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
So I kept on talking. And the captain was like, man, just shut up and take it to your cell. And at the time, I was young. I felt that you can't talk to me. If I ain't going to let an inmate talk to me that way, I ain't going to let the police talk to me that way. That's how I really felt. I came up, I was reading in George Jackson books, Black Panther books, so I really thought I was militant like that.
Right.
And
Okay.
so when he said it, I just flashed. I jumped over the desk and with my knife, and I got to poking his ass.
Mm.
And I ended up getting the FBI on the CO. They sent me to the shoot, Corcoran shoot.
You end up getting what on the CO?
Battery on the SBI on the CO. Battery on the peace officer SBI with SBI. That's serious bodily injuries.
Okay. So when you attacked him up in there, man, I know that surprised the hell out of everybody, man. Describe that scene a little bit, man. When you jump, because when you go to committee, you sitting at a table. For those of y'all who may not know, at the committee there might be 4 or 5 people in there. There's it's a regular counselor. It's called a CC1. It's his boss, which is a CC2. Then it might be a lieutenant in there. Then it also it's always definitely going to be a captain in there, overseeing everything. And sometimes there may or there may not be guards in there. You know what I'm saying? So in your particular situation, homie, if you can, man. So when you jump up and go to getting off on the captain, man, if to your recollection, describe, because I know that freaked everybody out. Describe what happened from that point.
Well, the woman, she started immediately screaming.
Right.
That's what I really remember. I just remember her really screaming, and I just blacked out.
Yeah.
But I remember getting on him, and I remember them, hitting me with the billy club, and the woman in the tower saying, "Move, move! I want to shoot him, move!" I'm hearing this, but I wasn't. At that time I'm in that zone, so my adrenaline rushing, and I'm trying to do what I'm doing. I'm just trying to stab.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. They finally, contained me and cuffed me up, and it was on from there. The beat, they gonna get theirs in. You put your hands on one of them, they gonna get theirs in.
Now, so you say sorry about that, but you say they was trying to shoot you. So was committee was held in a building or was it outside?
We was in the building.
Okay.
180 design building.
Okay.
The 180 is sectioned off through pods. You got A pod, you got B pod, you got C pod, and these pods hold about 12 cells, 12 on the top, 12 on the bottom. Probably like sold by each cell by 12 to 14 cells in each section.
Right.
But
Okay.
it's segregated by a big old wall, and you can't see the next section or the next pod, as I should say.
Right. Okay.
You got to go out.
Mm-hmm.
And they got some office in the Patunda before you go to the child. So we're in one of these little side offices where they hold the committee at.
Okay.
Yep.
And then so after that, you went through getting your ass whooped again.
Oh yeah. But up there, one thing I can say about up there, after they had me in a cage for like 5 hours, butt naked on my tippy toes. They had me shackled. They had me shackled with some with a square bar. It's like a bar that's heavy that they cuff you to, and they put that out of a cage. So you're gonna have to stand up on your tippy toes, like some old slavery shit.
Wow.
If I keep it 100, that's exactly what it looked like. If you go back into some old days, it looked like I was a nigga on one of them posts getting auctioned off.
Right. Wow. So then from there, did you end up doing your shoe time up there, or they sent you somewhere else?
Well, I went back there and sat in the hole for about 18 months, and then I got shipped to Cortland Shoe.
Okay.
Yep, with a 48-month shoe, telling me that I had to pull three years.
So when you was in the Corcoran shoe, was that set af was that new Corcoran or old Corcoran?
Now that's old Cortland. That's an old shoe.
Okay, 'cause I was wondering
I
if
was
you was in.
on a 4 yard,
Right.
8 yard,
I was
4 8.
wondering. Yeah, I was wondering if you was in that one SAT-F where it's kind of built like an ant farm and you can't see nobody. It's kind of like a deprivation. It's like a deprivation shoe where you look across the hall, man, and it's just wall right there, and they you
Oh
know,
no. See, them is the assets. I done been in a lot of them.
uh-huh.
You get to them before you even get to the shoe. You go to them before you even go to the shoe. If you ain't on no medication, triple CMS, you go to them.
Right.
And
Okay.
back in the days, you didn't have no TV up in there.
Right.
You had to deal with your time.
So then, so you finally, you finally do your shoe, you complete your shoe. Then where they end up sending you?
Well, I ended up doing 7 years in the shoe. I
Oh,
went into the shoe and got into some more trouble in the shoe while I was in the shoe.
damn. Okay. Well, if you don't mind, man, explain that to us. What happened in the shoe?
Well, I ended up stabbing my celly. I ended up getting attempted murder on my celly.
Damn. In the
And
shoe?
in the shoe.
Oh
Yes,
wow.
sir. I broke my TV down and made me a knife, and I went in there and stabbed his ass. And shit, I caught a battery on the inmate with a weapon,
Hmm.
and
So
I ended up getting 24 months added on to that to my 48-month shoot. So I ended up altogether doing like 6. And then as I was leaving to the shoot, I had got caught with a knife in my anal cavity. So I had to do another year. So I ended up doing 7 years straight in the shoot.
wow. Well, let me ask you this, man. When you was in the shoe and you decided to break your TV down so you can make you a knife, your celly he wasn't on point. I mean, what he thought you was making a knife for somebody else, or I mean, what was his mindset at?
I was by myself at the time when I had got into it with the dude. I was by myself, so he didn't know that I didn't have no celly to even intervene.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm kind of glad I didn't have no celly because he probably would have went and told the nigga or sent word to to one of his homies that I was gonna get his homie or something. So I'm kind of glad I didn't have no celly.
So what did you and your celly end up getting into it about? What made you stab him and assault him?
Well, we ended up getting into it behind a roll call.
Okay, and explain for those listening who don't know what a roll call is. Explain the roll call.
Well, a roll call is when you come to the shoe, you got paperwork. It's called a 128G or a 114D lockup, where you got to show where you came up off the yard for. And if you came up off the yard for something righteous and not nothing foul on your jacket or nothing, they put you on a roll call and it separates you from all the dudes that's back there that's PCs.
Okay.
So it basically separates you from, let's say the real from the fake.
Right. And when you say they put you on the roll call, who is they?
Well, it might be other Crips, it might be other Bloods, it might be BGF, it might be Kumi.
So
it might whatever back there that's running, that fraction that's running the units or wherever you at.
So basically,
Majority is like a black thing.
so that's what I was gonna say. So it's basically just the black population. So when you go to the hole, it's somebody that you got to slide your paperwork to, and when they find out if you're if you're in there for something that's not necessarily deemed out of bounds, they'll basically put you in the roll call and acknowledge you in the morning and at nighttime.
Yes.
Okay.
They will give you a care package. If you don't got nothing, they'll give you a care package, books to read, knowledge, teach you, different languages and stuff like that. But per se, if you came back there on some shit that you ain't supposed to be back there on, you ain't getting nothing.
Right. So
You just, you deal with whoever you deal with.
So what was it that you and your celly ended up getting into it about? What was the issue over the roll call?
Well, the gangsters had took him off the roll call in another building. And he got at me. I tell him, like, look, homie, I'm not putting you on the roll call. So that night, it was cool. You know, it was cool. So the next day we go to yard, we go to these cages like dog kennels. And he gets to conversating with his enemy. And
Right.
somehow it came up that that old IE ass nigga, he don't run shit and you know, woo woo woo. So I get at him like, look, homie, if it's a problem, we can do anything you want to do. If you want to play with knives, we can play with knives. I said, better yet, have your knife. He gets back at me, oh nigga, I don't need no knife and woo woo woo, you can come to my cell. I said, say no more. Got at the police, we put the move in. I let the police walk away. Soon they left that section, I got on his ass.
Oh, okay.
That's just how it was.
Okay. So now that makes sense. So you initially was in the cell by yourself, and then when you guys had words on the yard, you requested to be moved in with him.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And make a long story short, after I got on the dude, he called for the police and everything. He tells his homie that I got on him while he was asleep. So now I got an issue with the gangsters because they feel like I did their homie wrong.
Right.
And I'm stand up dude. I showed him my paperwork and everything. If this dude was asleep, it wouldn't have happened like that. It would have said what it said, or I probably would have did worse than what was done to him if he was asleep.
Right. And by the fact that, I mean, he knew you was coming down there to get moved down there. I guess y'all had a problem. So to me, it just wouldn't make sense that a cat would be asleep when he's, you know, when you're moving in the cell to basically just have a fight or altercation. See, a lot of cats don't understand that, man. Sometimes when people are in the shoe, they're single cell. And sometimes it happens like that when they get into it. They can't get to each other because they're separated, like you say, in the dog kennels. So they will actually request to be moved in to cell together so they can handle their business.
Yes, exactly.
Right. So then what end up happening with you in the gangster car?
Well, long story short, I ended up coming to the same prison that all of them came. I knew that they had came to this exact same prison that I'm in today. And so I was coming prepared. I wasn't counting on no homies or nothing. So I ended up leaving the shoe with my knife. And as I walked through the metal detector went off. You know, the police gave me, you know, a chance to get rid of it, but the thing got stuck on my tailbone and I couldn't shit it out.
Right.
So that's how I ended up getting caught with my knife again.
Uh-huh.
So, you know, I went through that issue, you know, with that, you know, with, you know, committee, when certain things, when blacks do certain things, the committee look at us a different way. So they was like, for you to have this knife and transfer with this knife, do you got like concerns or you got you safety concerns? So I had to go through all that.
Right.
I had to address all that. And I was like, nah, I ain't got no safety concerns. You can send me to the bay. You can put me back up for the same prison that I was on my way to. And it happened after that, like 12 months after that, I ended up coming back to the same prison. I ended up getting here instead of 2013. I ended up getting here September 2014.
So, in your opinion, man, what is the worst level 4 that you've been on? What level 4 was the most active, the most violence, things of that nature?
To me, I would have to say Calipat. For me,
Right.
I mean, High Desert and the Bay, they was cool. I mean, they was on, but I didn't really do that much time in the Bay. I had an incident where I got into it where the police hit our doors in the Bay. We was only up there like 17 days.
Okay.
So, you know, and it was on with the Woods up there, and we had a knife fight on the tier with the Woods in the Bay. So I don't really count me as being in the Bay because I was only there 17 days.
Damn, it seemed like you've been into it. You know, you didn't have quite an experience, man. So you already know. Once again, I'm gonna ask, man, give us a little insight on the knife fight with the Woods in the Bay, and if you don't mind, start if you do know, what was it over? What initiated that brawl?
Well, that initiated over White Crip, as we come to find out later when we was in the hole getting transferred. They ended up over a White Crip that was on that yard. That yard was already going at it. Shit was already going on up there.
Mm-hmm.
So based on, you know, I'm coming up there with a staff assault, and my celly was fraud at the time. But I ain't gonna put him in. He's why now, so we ain't even gonna really speak on him.
Okay.
But that was my celly, and you know, he got it cracking. He didn't leave me on the tier like a lot of niggas do. He got it cracking, and we end up being victorious
right
in the situation. But anyway, the police did some scandalous shit based on we was both coming up here fresh from staff assault. They opened our door. They popped our door and they popped their door. So we on lockdown. We end up getting into it. We on orientation. They had razors, we had knives, and we prevailed.
Oh, okay. So basically, okay, and so that explains it. The prison was locked down, but as the guards often will, they will initiate these things or set these things up. Like you say, they pop y'all door, they pop the white people's door. So they already knew that it was gonna be violence if you guys came out at the same time.
Yes,
Right. So basically they
that.
they orchestrated this situation.
Yes, in so many words, yeah, they popped our doors. They knew we didn't supposed to be out at the same time. They did that.
Right. And that happens all the time. And then of course the guards will write a report. They'll lie. They accidentally popped a cell or something like that. So, and I have a lot of people always asking me, man, why do the convicts in prison hate the guards or hate the authorities so much? But people fail to realize that there's a lot of underhand and devilish things going on by the guards. People automatically assume that when a guard gets a job or a police officer gets a job, that they're all going to become, perfect angels and they do everything by the book. But they're human. They have a lot of prejudice like everybody else. And they use that power sometimes to basically just mess over people.
Yes, yep, yep. It's to the point where now we in 2021, and they making them wear body cam in the prison that I'm in now.
Oh, wow.
So we got
I
body
never
cam.
heard of that. So the
Oh yeah,
CO's wearing body cams now.
yes. They be whooping so many motherfucking asses up here. It's like they got a crew called the Patio Gangsters. That's what I call them. They've ordered in the Crips and Bloods and everything else around here.
Right.
And they be whooping ass. But they done whoop so much ass, they came to the point where they got to wear body cam.